Jackson Madden here with Team on the Grind, and who do we have here?
James Wright.
And what do we do here?
Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Normal summon Rescue Cat. Good things.
This is the top 8 deck list of the Emporium OTS Championship, and what do we play?
We played X-Saber. I would classify it as X-Saber mid-range.
Okay. Any shout-outs you want to give? Anything you want to say before the video?
Shout out to my mom. She, raised me. Shout out to Quality. Shout out to Emporium T.C.G. All the good locals around the Chicagoland area. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to the deck then.
So yeah, I'll start this off with Fault Troll. I would play 4 of this card, even though sometimes it's kind of a brick. This card is insane, and the only real reason to be playing this deck. Combo extender, big idiot, just one of the reasons to play the deck. We also played 2 X-Saber Ember's Blade. It's the giant rat of the archetype.
That's 3, not 2.
What did I say?
2.
Math hard. I don't know how to count. I don't know how to read. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Anyway, yeah, played 3 Ember's Blade. It's a good set. Sometimes you can ram it into things and then summon one of your other X-Sabers as kind of a toolbox. Also helps fuel Avarice. I always say summon Fenrir, search Fenrir, because it can search copies of itself. Played 3 X-Saber or XX-Saber Fulham Knight. This card is like the Stratos of the archetype. Just a good normal summon. It's a tuner. If it hits a set thing, then it can summon an X-Saber from yard. Also notably, if your opponent just sets a Raiko and you normal this, you're just so happy because if it attacks into a Raiko, it activates in a later substep than Raiko. So it'll be able to either summon itself or summon another one from yard anyway. If you're against bad people who are playing Raiko, they'll pop this and you get free damage.
Good to know. Good to know.
3 of the card that I apparently opened 2 of in every opening hand of X-Saber Arabellum. Just a reasonable good tuner. Mostly it's the cat target. Same thing for other cards later on, but yeah, it's just the best target for Rescue Cat. Speaking of Rescue Cat, we have 1 Rescue Cat, 1 Summoner Monk, and 1 Sandgan, and they're all basically just Rescue Cat. Also kind of a Rescue Cat is Giant Rat, as one of. It's, you can ram it in to summon a Rescue Cat if you need to. If you feel kind of bad because you lose your battle phase, but it's pretty good. Another one of Raiko. It's a cat target. Also just a fine set. Also a Sandgan target in really bad scenarios where like your opponent has an oppression. 1 jar because it's insane. Shout out to Jeremy for telling me to play that card.
Always got a shout out to homies.
Yeah, this card proved to be insane every time I used it. I did cite it out, or I cited it out a ton whenever people know I'm playing it. But 1 Regigura. It's hard to say. I thought about playing it at 2, but I think 1 is the correct number. Mostly because you have a toolbox to search for it, and it's part of the hand loop combo on turn 1. But you basically never do that. 3 Book of Moon, because it's
Fulham Knight.
It's Book of Moon. Yeah, it's just great. It's defensive when you need it to be. It's aggressive when you need it to be. And against Blackwing and other weird things, it causes weird interactions with their cards like Whirlwind and stuff like that. 2 Goldsark because it's functionally other copies of Monk/Cat.
Also, we can get you back row hate if that's what you need.
Pretty multi-purpose, and you usually have enough time to wait for it. 2 Avarice.
Only 2.
So I've played 3 in the past, and I've played 1 in the past. I think 2 is the right number, because there's been times where I open multiple, and I can't activate multiple in a game. But 2 I think is reasonable, and I am able to activate 2 basically every game.
Okay.
Because full cat combo gets you enough monsters in yard. And yeah, drawing 2 cards is busted. Who knew? One for one because for the Ragigura, it's just a functional copy of Ragigura and lets you hand loop on one. But again, that basically never happens. It's probably happened for me in tournaments a total of like 4 times out of like the 200 games I've played. One level limit. It's just like slightly better, worse Book of Moon. Like it's obviously a very good card, but it just does the grind game with Fulham Knight like really well. Also, there's a few decks where like they just have no real out to this card outside of like making a Black Rose, and if that's what they're doing, then you're cool with it. There are some decks where this card is like weirdly really bad. Like I've had Diva Hero matchups where they summon Gilman or Diva and they just beat me down with little dinky dudes.
Jerusalem effect.
One Minecon, one BrainCon, because they're busted. Also, they make like drawing Emmer's Blade not that bad because like at the very least these are removal spells and like you get to rip a card out of their hand. The spell and trap
You mean
card,
Airbellum, correct?
Airbellum, yeah, sorry. I don't know how to read.
Oh, so you have so many tuners that you're like, I can just take whatever and make synchro.
The 3 spell and trap card, Tate cards, well, I guess 4 kind of, but you just don't want your opponent to be able to do anything, and you just want to combo as fast as humanly possible. That's it for the spells. 2, Godham's Emergency Call. It's kind of cloggy at 3. 2 is fine. 1, there's not enough, I think, to play 1, or you can't play 1, and then 1 Torrential, 1 Solemn, 1 Call to Haunted, and 1 Mirror Force. They're just the power spells. Well, Call to Haunted really isn't a power spell, but like it's cat number 2 in some scenarios, and it's just a reasonable good.
Why no trap dust you?
So in my brain, I'm gonna hand rip you for an amount on turn 1 a lot. And usually you will not have 4 cards in hand when I hand rip you. If I have the dust shoot in my opening hand.
That's fair.
Because if I open like Fulham Knight, I don't know, Extender plus Fault Troll, right? I can rip at least 2 cards there, maybe. It just kind of depends.
Have you ever about citing it for like the Frog matchup, the Light Swarm, like the matchup where they always have a bunch of cards in hand?
I've thought about it, but my side patterns are pretty what's the word? Thought out at this point, and like I don't think it's worth it in those matchups. Well, when we get to the side, I'll show you all what's up. But
okay.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Right.
No, to pop this.
Your profile.
Okay, sure. We'll just go extra. For the extra, it's pretty standard. 1 Army Arm, 1 Ally Justice. 1, I don't know how to say this guy.
Kizo.
Yeah, that guy. I play one of him over the second Hunley.
Just so everyone knows, Urquiza is the Piercer and it gets bigger.
Yeah, it's there was a game where I played against a Spirit Reaper and I just couldn't out the Spirit Reaper to save my life. And this card specifically won me that game. And like ever since then, like I've just been hyped on this card.
Have you ever missed a second Hunley?
Not usually. Usually one Hunley wins the game or loses the game, depending if they have Starlight Road or not. But the second Hunley wouldn't matter in that case. The 1 Brio, because Brio's busted. 1 Goyo, because Goyo's busted. Arcanine Magician when we draw a monk. 1 Arabellum. 1 Black Rose, because obviously Black Rose. 1 Stardust. 1 Colossal Fighter. We actually can Colossal Fighter Armor O.T.G in this deck. It doesn't come up very often, but like it can happen, and when it does, you feel giga-brained as hell. 1 Mistworm, because it's pretty good. 2 Gothams. This is the only card that I think is even marginally cuttable in the extra. You could probably go down to 1, but I was playing 1 for a bit and I missed the second one because Big Idiot is good.
Maybe activated this turn.
And then 1 Chimera Tech.
It would be.
Does the Chimera Tech, how often does it actually come up for you?
Probably 1 in every like 15 games. Probably.
Okay.
Well, in casual games that probably comes up way more often. But onto the side deck, we have 2 Fossil Dyna. I think 2 is fine. You only really need 1 because it's very much a blowout card when you set it.
Sure.
Other times you'll play it against Frog, and they just can't do anything because they like, you know, just sit on an idiot, and eventually you can either book this, and then wombo them after you've made them sit on nothing for a billion turns, and then kill them.
Also, randomly a giant rat target.
Yeah, correct.
Sure.
2 Sidra, because it's Sidra. It's pretty good. I actually sided this in a lot. There's probably some matchups I shouldn't side it in, but I sided it in anyways. A lot of times when I'm going second, I'll side out the Regigura and the 1-for-1 to side in 2 of these. Because we'll get to it later, but there's some floodgates in my side that hypothetically, if I open those floodgates plus this and a level 3 tuner, I can end on a Stardust plus the floodgate. And if the floodgate says they don't get to play the game, I also have a Stardust that protects my floodgate. 1 Grand Mole. This is just a good card.
Nope. Not right now.
Outs a lot of things. Outs Christias. Yeah. It's a pretty good card. 2 Prohibition. Card's gas. No one will tell me otherwise.
What matchups do you normally side it in
A
for?
lot of matchups. You can do it against Dragon and Hero Beat. Those are the like traditional ones because you can do you can name Wyvern and Alias, and then like 90% of their cards are just turned off. Also, there's some other matchups where like in Blackwing, I'll side out a lot of my traps and side into these. And we can Prohibition and name the card that outs our Royal Decree that we think they have, or alternatively, if well, I mean, sometimes I'll side these against Blackwing, because if I end on this or this and have this and hypothetically level 3, whatever, 5-card combo or whatever, 4-card combo, but in theory, it ends on Stardust, Prohibition, and Royal Decree. If we Prohibition naming Shura, or Sure.
Kalut,
yeah. Kalut, then they can't out the Stardust through battle. And, you know, Decree go Burr. Stardust go Burr. Cards are good. We have 3 Imperial Iron Wall, because this card is just insane. Really good against Vayu. We already have a pretty good Vayu matchup anyway, but it's also just good against cards like
Miracle Fusion.
Miracle Fusion, Bottomless, Deep Prison. Yeah, a lot of cards like that.
Have you thought of maining it?
I have, yeah. I played 2 in the main for a little bit. And I think it's good enough to side now. I don't know if it's... Our locals has a lot of non-meta that doesn't like really interact with this.
That makes sense.
Or if it does interact with this, it's like super marginal. Yeah. This card is much better than people give it credit for. And then the last 3 cards were 3 Pulling the Rug. Terrible Monarch matchup. Like, terrible Monarch matchup. And you just need to see one of these. I've tried Mask Restrict, but it turns off your own Gothams, so it's kind of awkward. But, yeah. Also, you can side against, you know, the normal things like Davy Hero and stuff like that, and it's good enough.
That's fair. Any other comments you want to say at the end?
X-Saber best deck.
All right, James. Hopefully we'll see you with the next deck, topping deck profile. See you guys next time.